Hello and welcome to the Slyphor channel. We're back in CubeWorld for another one of my instructional videos. If you haven't seen the first episode, there should be a link in the description. Not up here. I might put one up there if I remember, I'm not entirely sure. This video is basically just me giving you little instructions about how to get the multiplayer working, because originally when I did it I had a little bit of an issue with it. Not too much of a trouble, but this video is to make it as easy as possible for anyone else who's having trouble with it. And subscribe to my channel. You don't have to subscribe to my channel, but obviously in order to find it you might be easier if you are. Basically, what happens is when you download the game, you get a little icon in the corner, or you get a desktop icon. I'm not sure why I said an icon in the corner. You can get a desktop icon, and then if you right click on the desktop icon, you can open the file location, and in the file location there is a server window. This server window opens up a mini DOSBox sort of thing, which is basically your dedicated server for your game download. Yeah. So once you've opened that, it's a server that is connected to your game, and in order to get into it, the easiest way is to use logme and hamatchi. So if you use logme and hamatchi, then it's very simple, because you literally just, it uses your server IP from that. And then when you want to join, so currently I have that open, I have the DOSBox open, and if I pick my character that I created last time, you then have multiplayer worlds up here, where you have worlds that you can create and other people can join using various servers or LANs or whatnot. But if you want the logme and hamatchi one, you go down here to the connect to server button. This thing, yeah, so you can sit, and in the server address you can add whatever your server address IP is, and you literally just add that into this box and then hit connect, which will take you into your dedicated server. So I'm now going to launch my server, and I will find whoever else may be in there, and we can get on to the second part of this video. Okay, so when you sign into the server, you start at a random spawn point, and the first thing that you really want to do is find the nearest town, which is over there. So I will head over to there and find my colleague Mason.
Hello!
Hello. And then we shall meet you up and do a town tour. Okay, and this is the Terradara city, and this is the central square, where there's a bunch of market carts which don't actually do anything as of yet.
It's all central.
You quite often find NPCs here, and as we tour around the city, I will tell you why finding NPCs is quite a good thing.
And save everybody to buy a hand glider. Yes.
So the easiest thing to do is scroll right the way in on the map, and all these little symbols appear. These are the various different crafting places, inns and shops for selling things and whatnot. It also gives you the little titles for every district, which is kind of useful, but as of yet there's not like major things that happen in each district.
Well, if you're like lost in the town and you want to find, say, the crafting district, it is quite useful.
Yeah, but then again, if you do the little trick of zooming in with your map, your mini map, then you shouldn't get too lost. So this is the general store. It's very easy to notice the general store, as it has the little potion bottle, little item bag sign outside. I'm not sure which one it's meant to be. I assume it's a potion bottle, as they also have them over their heads. This is the shop owner, who obviously has the bottle over their head, and you can talk to them and they sell you various things, from formulas to hand gliders and boats to a carrot, which is a pet food, and I will be doing a video on pets later on in this series.
Fancy?
Glass flasks are for potions, you have to fill them with water and then venture off and get the ingredients for the potion.
And find heart flowers.
Iron lamp was already said in the last video, being the F button to work with.
Make light.
Demonstrating. Like light on, light off. The next shop we shall go to is the armour shop, as it's right here. So the armour shop has a little chest plate symbol, has a sign. We're both trying to open the door. I'll let you open the door.
Yeah.
And then there is the armour sales person.
Lady.
For some reason it's not letting me talk to. Oh, there we go. They sell all various types of armour, so before you buy things, make sure it's for your class. It says underneath the power level what class they're for. And if it doesn't, then that means it's your class. So like this silk chest is a mage, and it doesn't say what class it is, but the other ones say like ranger, warrior. Back up here there's rogue armour. And yeah, so that's very simple to use, and although armours are more expensive, as they are in all games.
It's much easier to make your armour instead of buying it.
Yes, the crafting district is very useful.
Do you want to show them this over here?
Which what? I don't think I've ever been into these giant lighthouses. I just thought they were significant.
These giant lighthouses are for downgrading or upgrading your items. You speak to the man, right click or like put whatever you want in there. Sometimes it costs platinums, sometimes it doesn't cost platinums. If you want to downgrade or upgrade, yeah.
That's really useful. And then if you accidentally put an item in, you can obviously right click it back out and right click a different item in.
Yep.
They are this little shop over here, the kind of magnifying glass symbol, is where you inspect leftovers. So you can find leftovers from random mob drops. If you bring them over here and talk to this person, they will appear in your items section as like little blobs with green or blue or purple little sparkly bits on, and you can just right click them like you do with the adapt person, and they can then identify, and they are often weapons or armours or useful things.
They could really be anything.
They could really be anything, yeah.
You just never know.
But then we get to the crafting district, where...
But you have already missed out one shop.
The weapon shop.
Yes.
I'm failing at touring. I'm not at all about it.
This is the weapon shop.
But
You speak to the
most
lady
important shop, yeah.
and buy weapons.
Buy weapons. Ooh, fancy.
Mass destruction.
In fact, I'm going to sell my wands. I don't particularly like wands.
Yeah.
I prefer the bracelets.
And now we get to the crafting
Now we get to the
section.
crafting district, where this is the saw and the workbench. Workbench is useful for building wooden items.
So,
Like
staffs,
staves, bows. Not particularly bows, but
well, sometimes bows.
sometimes bows. And boomerangs, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The saw is useful for when you get
Cutting,
wood logs.
wood.
You can wood log into cubes, and then you can use those to customize wooden items like my staff or bows or whatnot.
You add them onto your items. That increases the power and customizes.
It does. Although, be careful what you use specialist cubes on.
Yes.
There are such things as spirit cubes, and they increase the power a lot. If you use them on a weak item just before leveling, then it doesn't particularly help you, because you'll be swapping item anyway. Then we move to the next shop, which is the blacksmith. Over here there is an anvil used for making iron armours and whatnot, which mages, archers and rogues don't particularly have to be concerned about. It's mainly for warriors. There is also the furnace for turning iron
Any
blocks,
ores,
iron nuggets
smelting.
and silver and gold nuggets into smelted versions. And then there's the customization bench, which is amazing. And you can right click an item, and it appears in here, and then you can have a little move around of it and attach stuff onto it and make it all awesome and amazing. So like if I get my staff, just
Or
spin that
awesome,
around and
amazing.
attach little bits onto it, and you have like wooden blocks and things, and make it look pretty much however you want depending on how many blocks you have.
Yep.
There is then one final crafting section, which is all the way over there. Obviously, the layouts of cities
Will change.
per the random generation, so what you need to do is look out for the little signs. So this is the kind of hairdressers, is what it looks like, but it's not hairdressers at all. A tailor is probably the better way of using it. So you have the spinning wheel, which you use to make yarns from the random items that you collect from plants.
Yarns,
So
cotton.
rogues use cotton, mages use cobweb, and archers
Warriors use iron.
Yeah, warriors use iron, which is over at the blacksmith, and
Yep.
rangers use linen.
Linen.
Use the linen, which is
There you
from
go.
the saplings that you get off bushes. So
Ah,
you can then
there you
come to the spinning wheel and you create all the yarns, where you then come over to the loom and you use your yarn to create armours, except for the warrior class who obviously uses the blacksmith.
Yep.
That concludes the kind of... Oh, almost completely forgot. The one thing we said about NPCs is because if you find an NPC with a little green speech bubble over their head, then
They're
there appears to be
randomly
no one.
spawned through the whole thing, so you may find one, you may not find one.
Yeah, you could be lucky and
Hence.
find one, but you won't always.
But
In
they
which case you
sometimes gives you wisdom. They're either like, hey, this animal eats this animal, and they'll become your friend. Or
Yeah.
sometimes they're like, there's a magical rock off in the distance. Go to it.
Yeah,
And there'll
so
be
they-
higher level shit there.
So they'll either tell you a little quest section, in which case it reveals it on your map and like shows you to say, look, if you go over here, then it's an
Yep.
interesting place to go. You should go there and check it out.
Important thing to note, if you're in a multiplayer game and both of you talk to the person with the green thing on their head, the first person who speak to it will have it marked on their map, not the second person.
Yeah, so whoever speaks to them first has to be prepared to be a guide.
Yes.
And that pretty much concludes our little town tour video. And obviously the multiplayer server setup. I will be back with bringing you more CubeWorld videos like pets and dungeons and probably crafting if people want it, depending on what you do. So we will see you next time for more CubeWorld. Goodbye.
See you.